Hey, hey, what's going on, everybody? We've got JT, we've got David, and we've got C-Will coming in over from the Passive Income Network. What does that read there? 67-cent gang. What's going on, everybody?
Got to make sure Algorand don't fall below that.
Yeah.
All right. Hold the line, everybody. Hold the line.
How's it going, y'all?
It's going.
Get your buy orders ready. We're at 71 cents and we're going down.
My buy orders are always ready. Anyone tuning in, hit us up in the chat. Let us know any questions you want, or anything you want us to discuss. Just let us know. So what's going on, guys?
It's been a busy week so far. We got some news, potentially, obviously some big news dropping on Earth Day that Stacey Warden has been very reluctant to give us anything on, even though I've tried many attempts.
I see you with all the memes attacking, trying to get her to poke the bear to get some info out. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
funny.
man,
I'm
I'm good. The market is, always what gets my attention. I'm looking at it at night when I go to sleep and when I wake up.
Oh man,
lately
that's not a good thing to go to sleep to lately, man. You're gonna have nightmares.
I know.
I've just been waiting to wake up to the point where Algorand's either like testing 67 cents and it's not looking good, or it's already broke below it, and then I can just be like, all right, it's here. The day has come.
I want that 59 cent.
See, will you end up putting that Algorand shirt on?
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah, we're all rocking Algo shirts.
Algo. Yeah.
I'll go to the moon, baby.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of those moon ones too. But yeah, shout out to the
Algo. Damien, it's coming. Fortnite. Somebody called it. I forget the Twitter handle. He said they said Earth Day is going to be epic, and Epic Games is the creator of Fortnite. So I was playing it. I went and played the game to see if I could find an Algorand logo, but I died too quick. So
oh no. Damn. Well, you gotta try again. Yeah, so we've got a lot to talk about today, though. We've got that Lofty AI property that sold out in like 40 seconds. Algorand partnering with that Air Europa plane company. They just sold an NFT ticket for $1 million.
I'm just gonna say Air Europe. I don't even. I'm just gonna say Air.
Well, it's got an A on the end, so but they just sold that NFT for $1 million, which is insane.
Yeah. They did what?
Yeah, they sold an NFT plane ticket for $1 million.
I got some notes I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah,
there's more that comes with it. It's not just the plane ride. There's like an experience as well that goes with it.
Yes.
But yeah,
I look at the artwork was interesting.
Yep.
I think we bid on this, then I realized it was all Europe, and I
think they partnered with Aorist for the art. I'm pretty sure. I'm not entirely sure though. And then we've got the Algorand partnership with WadsPay. We've got Robinhood listing cryptos, Earth Day speculation, governance, of course. Yieldly announcing more burning and governance with the Yieldly token, not the iYieldly token, which is interesting.
Must have heard us, huh?
Yeah, must have heard something. We got Elon Musk trying to take over Twitter and overall market sentiment. So I guess let's just start with Lofty AI. Did you guys get in on that property?
I did not.
No, I did not either.
Too fast. And it's so weird because like they obviously they list properties almost one a day, if not one every other day or something. But most of theirs last open for a couple solid weeks. I do think the big thing that made that one sell out so fast was the cash on cash return.
12, yeah. If I would have
saw it, that's the highest one yet.
Yeah. Yep. I bought in on the other one that had 9% cash on cash.
Mm-hmm. It's huge.
Yeah, that's a lot. Plus, you get the projected, return or appreciation, bring you up to 20. I mean,
I will say this: I had a few notes on that one, just because I think here's maybe why it sold out so fast. One, both renters were government paid, so the first one is a guy who or VA paid, so you don't have to worry about that payment not coming in. So that's a good thing. The other one is Section 8 housing. Now, I will say this just because I've bought properties before that have tenants who are Section 8, and those are the ones that I've had some issues with as far as like renters not paying, having to actually vote on the eviction process. And so, it's not an awful thing, but obviously knowing that it is government funded, that is a good thing, knowing that it should be pretty consistent with, those rent payments coming in and not having to worry about, missing those rent payments coming to you.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good point because that money is coming, government and Section 8. JT, can you go down to the overall price?
Yeah,
because
sure.
I want to bring something up. Someone on my channel wrote me. They say, what about that 4% fee Lofty is paying for listing? So if the property is 125, what would that 4% fee be then?
Yeah, the underlying asset. It goes to, see, this is the thing that's great about Lofty. I mean, yeah, you're not paying the exact market price, but you're paying for
5,000.
5,000.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into the price. So the total investment of this one was 125,000. The underlying asset was 110,000. So technically you're overpaying by 15,000, but that includes the closing costs, the upfront LLC fees, the maintenance reserve, which you get to vote on. You can, if you're a Lofty holder, you get the emails about that. The vacancy reserve, and all of these reserves are basically to help pay you if money dries up. Essentially,
So
Yep.
the
Lofty's
listing.
fee that they get is that
This
5.
is yeah, yeah. This is their cut essentially. This is where they make their money from it and can afford to continue to really do this. That's their business model.
Yep.
I mean,
And it's a
and
great business model. I would love to start this in Florida.
it is. I mean, sure, it could eat into some of the profits, but it is also not crazy in this industry. Especially, I mean, I think REITs have a slightly smaller percentage that they take from you, but just like investing in an ETF, there's like Kathy Wood's fund has like a 0.75 fee.
Yeah.
A lot of REITs have
Every
like a 2
401k does too.
yeah, and a lot of REITs or real estate investment trusts have a 2, 3, 4% fee as well. So I mean, it could. I guess it is a little high. Maybe it'll come down as the business becomes more established. But I'm not. I'm okay with it. They're very transparent about it. So
I see it as in like, like I told the guy too, like they got to eat too.
yeah.
Because they're facilitating us to make this deal, so they actually need to get some money for that.
Yeah.
I will say this as well. Obviously, one of the things I love about Lofty is the fact that the tokens you buy, the $50 you invest, that can appreciate over time as the property goes up. And this one, obviously, normally when you look at a property and you're looking to buy it, they give you a projection of the property appreciating over time. This one they did not, and they even listed on their words, they are not projecting this property will rapidly appreciate. So that is something to consider when you're investing in Lofty AI properties, is to actually like not just see it and just buy into it, but actually look and see like, is this home in a good area? Is your initial investment going to actually be able to grow long term and stuff like that? Because you may not get the 12 point something cash on cash return, but you may be investing to another one that's 9 or 10%, but is in a better area, and the actual property itself might be in a hot spot where it would grow, and actually you can make more money there too. So something to consider.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Yeah, don't just look at the percentages and just ape right in for sure. I definitely do.
It is crazy that it sold out in 40 seconds. I mean, that was fast.
That could really be said about all of crypto. There's yield pools with crazy percentages, and people just ape into them, just like they ape into the highest percentage house on Lofty, and it's not always the best decision in the long run. But yeah, that's some certainly solid advice.
Yeah, I love aping though.
I love aping in.
It's just is that gonna be a verb? Maybe. I guess it already is.
It probably already is. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I really like the Lofty platform, and I'm so we talked about this before, but I'm happy they don't have a token.
Yeah.
And there's no plans to, and I think it's a great business model. So shout out to the Lofty team.
Yeah, I like it because, I mean, I know some people want the voting to be on chain, but honestly, I don't really mind. They send out those emails to token holders. You can respond to them. I just voted on something the other day or yesterday, the day
It was
before.
last night, maybe.
Yeah, it's a totally fine system to me. That being said, let's move on to Algorand and Air Europe, the partnership with whatever airline industry this is. It's a huge airline industry. It's a huge airline industry. I've just never obviously been on it. I mean, Air Europa is, I mean, just on Twitter alone, they have almost 300,000 followers. It's a very huge airline in Europe. But yesterday, the world's first NFT ticket auction ended with a top bid of over 1 million USDC, which is absolutely insane. Stay tuned for the next auction and learn more about TravelX and Air Europa's NFT flight ticket series minted on the Algorand blockchain. And I know this ticket came with a lot more than just a plane ride. It was first class. It also came with a total experience as well. The artwork that came with the NFT that they could likely resell as well.
I think they fly to Miami, right? From Paris to Miami?
Yeah, it's Madrid. So here's what I went and did a little research. It's Madrid to Miami. The average ticket, because it's a business class, the average ticket there costs $3,000. I went and looked at the dates of that one. So you could buy that ticket. Obviously, it's not going to be on the same plane, I would assume, but normal tickets cost $3,400 and something round trip from Madrid to Miami. But, obviously you can see the artist. It's Carlos Bentoncourt. I went and looked at a couple of his art, galleries and things. He's got his art in some major studios and major places all around. And that's the actual, like that little blurb right there, the picture of it. It's a video, and the stars and everything kind of move around, and there's some music that goes to it. But I don't know. Like, I don't really get like the hype for 1 million. Like, I mean, obviously it's just really, really wealthy people who have tons and tons of money.
I think it's like the Bitcoin conference. Like they're just stunting.
Yeah. Here's what I want to know. I want to know what the heck that is going to be during the flight. It's like a 9-hour flight. Like,
champagne, baby, champagne.
Yeah, it's going to be a party bus. That's what I'm thinking.
It has to be. Like,
I mean, hey,
much.
This doesn't sound great. A unique experience. The journey begins in a business class Air Europa cabin on November 29th and continues upon landing at a private event at Miami Art Week, where the NFT ticket holders and artists will celebrate this momentous event in history together. Ooh. NFT tickets also unlock the access to a series of unique and exclusive events during Miami Art Week for its owners. Sounds like it's probably fun. Probably not $1 million worth of fun, but I
10,000, 15 maybe.
You know what? One thing when I read through this though, and I saw the dates, November 29th, it definitely made me think again that Decipher is going to be in Miami, because if Algorand is partnering with this and they're flying people to Miami for Art Week, I think the biggest tell sign of that is that we just found out Decipher's back in Miami. It's going to be probably around the same weekend.
Miami.
Yeah, Art Basel is going to be going on, so it's going to be tons of stuff going on there.
That's part of what the experience includes is some stuff at Art Basel. And I'd imagine Algorand's going to team up with them again and do something crazy on the beach again for Decipher, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Not $1 million.
I'll be there this year. I didn't get to go last time.
Yeah, definitely. We should all link up when we get there.
We'll do a live podcast there. It'll be fire.
I'm with it. The day before Decipher started, I did a live podcast with Monty and a whole bunch of other people that he had meet at his Airbnb down there, and it was pretty fun. The only thing I will say that we did it outside, and there were a bunch of planes flying over because he got an Airbnb like right next to the airport. So every few seconds we had to just like chill for a second and wait for the plane to go over because it was drowning us out. But that being said, you guys heard of WadsPay, the partnership with WadsPay? There's a lot of
board on there on Twitter going ham. About how does it help with the TVL?
Yeah, I've seen that too. I don't know if he's got an answer, but I'm pretty sure it's all on mainnet because of just the hype I've seen from the WadsPay community. There's the like WTK holders. That's the token for WadsPay, and they're super hyped about it. So I'm not sure too much about it. I really have like very limited knowledge about it. It does, in my opinion, seem like it probably helps them out more than it helps us out. But
because from my research, it seems like it's one of those situations where they're, like Square, or they're just a payment processor and helping people convert from fiat to USDC Algorand.
Yeah, they're headquartered in Singapore, so that's obviously why they're partnering with Algorand's blockchain, because that's where Algorand Foundation is headquartered. And it's like, I guess that's where I'm kind of at. It's like I'm ready to see, and that's why I'm super excited for Earth Day to see what type of epic partnership or what the heck they have planned, because I'm ready for Algorand to have some big name partnerships. Like I don't know. I'm literally most of the ones they partnered with, Koi Banks, WadsPay. I mean, all these different ones. Like I know nothing about them. I have to go do all the research and then find out what they are, what they do. Which it's still great because obviously there's huge markets that are outside of just the U.S. The U.S. isn't the only market, but still would love to see more partnerships from companies that we know.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem like it's a big company, but I agree with that. I mean, just to drive some hype, but it's not huge. It's got almost 11K followers on Twitter, although, that doesn't necessarily mean anything technically, but it is a good website. Yeah, definitely.
I will say as well, I did a little bit of digging on their website. The CEO of it has background in past job experience in MasterCard and American Express. So,
at least
he's got some good experience, at least to bring to, getting Algorand, to adoption from, credit card payment network processing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cause I was looking at, I was watching something, I think it was on TV. It was like a special on El Salvador trying to use like Bitcoin out there. And so it made me look like, damn, Algorand will be a much better tool out there because we was watching people trying to make transactions. Some people's went through fast. A lot of them took about, 8, 10, 20, 30 minutes. And I can imagine just waiting in line like that. But if we had something like this WazPay out there that's serving a crypto, that would be like,
Yeah,
ideal.
WadsPay is very big in like Southeast Asia markets and stuff like
Yeah.
Dubai,
Southeast
over there.
Asia, South Asia, Middle East, Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're in the right markets. I guess we may all not just be, that familiar with Southeast Asian.
I mean, they're
Markets.
reducing friction essentially, and that's what Algorand's all about. I mean, this mission statement right here, the first sentence really says it all: is WadsPay is building an interoperable and agnostic blockchain-based payments ecosystem, which is, especially if there's going to be a multi-chain world, it's going to be totally necessary to have payment systems that can operate on whatever, really. So, I mean, it's probably in the long run a good thing. I feel like it's probably a better thing for them than for Algorand,
Yeah.
at least price action wise. But yeah, I mean, they're certainly touting this a lot. You can see on all their social medias that just
I
that
mean, they
big.
even have Algorand on the front page of their website, so obviously they see it
Yeah,
as a huge thing to partner with.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, this big picture right here, they're going all out with it. Oh, here's a video. Apparently,
Uh-oh.
I don't want to watch that.
Three
All right,
minutes.
we'll get rid of that. Yeah, I don't want to copyright
Well, I'll say this:
infringement.
at least Algorand right now is making moves, and then thinking. And I'm kind of thinking more with an open mind right now. Maybe it is a bigger plan to not go run after all of the people we're used to in America, right? Because we want a global market with it. So
Yeah.
maybe they're thinking in that terms of let's get smaller people or companies and help grow together
Yep.
over time, rather than just finding the hot thing like Nike or somebody to partner with.
For sure, and it's a global project, and I like the sustainable growth as opposed to the hype fueled growth that just pops at the end. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess that's really all I have to add to that conversation. Otherwise, I agree with you. I think I had one more point, but it
I just feel
escaped
like
me.
You faded away right there.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's got all the big, partnerships with Square and Stripe and PayPal, and you're seeing all that. Like, I'm just interested when Algorand's going to start, making some of this. I will say this: I had one of the people here I live with. His son just got a job working for a crypto startup, and they're, I don't know if they're going to partner with him, but they're going to be something similar to like what PayPal offers. And I'm interested to, when I get to meet him, to learn more about, if they're going to integrate something like Algorand. They had it on their web page. They had like 5 crypto images listed, but there wasn't any real verbiage on like which blockchain they might be using, or if they're just going to try to facilitate multiple ones. But that's the thing I'm excited to see, is like, when's Algorand going to make that partnership with a big, well-established brand, well-established company who's in the payment processing networks on the global scale.
I mean,
Yeah. I will say this though, I've been seeing a lot more articles about Algorand from bigger, Twitter pages or news sites and what have you, about Algoracle or Algorand in general, or even this WadsPay thing. But over the last probably week or so, I've seen a lot more bigger accounts tweeting about Algorand. So the name is getting out there, which is certainly.
I mean, even BitBoy had a video like 2 months ago, maybe 2.5, where he was talking about like top 3 smart contract platforms for 2022. First one he talks about is Algorand. He even says in the, that, and I've known that he's owns, like they say it's one of their bigger bags on smart contract platforms. Like, I feel like the big YouTubers and whatnot, they hold algo, and I'm sure they're even some of the whales participating in governance and things like that, and possibly even on AlgoFi. They just they're not going to hype it because they're making so much money off of the other, smart contract platforms, other cryptos that are spending all their money on marketing or on, whatever it is. Like, Algorand may not be, I guess, the sexy crypto, but it is doing what I feel like even ETH set out to do with, making payments and the ability to move money and value faster and easier and cheaper and have more access. But I don't know.
Well, this brings it back to, like I was bringing up, BlackRock and then the CBDCs. They made some announcements about them getting into that, and that always makes me think of Algorand. Because it makes more sense. Like, how could you process payments with Ethereum? It wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to have an Algorand or one of the ISO coins.
I really do think that especially in the United States, if the Federal Reserve comes up with a blockchain or comes up with a CBDC, they're going to create their own infrastructure for it. And I don't think they're going to launch it on any particular blockchain, to be real. I think they're going to create their own
Valid.
centralized infrastructure in which they
China.
control completely. Yeah, yeah, 100%. 100%. I do hope that that's at least years away and somebody
What do
convinces
you
them
think
to
about
just.
smaller countries, though? Like, do you think a
I
smaller
think
country?
a huge possibility. Yeah, definitely a
Okay.
huge possibility. Because smaller countries, depending on which one you're speaking of or which ones, as many, they don't have the same type of infrastructure that the U.S. government has and the power of the purse that the government. You know what I mean? So
No,
our
it's
government
not
can
that.
hire the most brilliant people to build out whatever centralized infrastructure they want, where another smaller country might be like, we don't have those resources. Let's just look at what technology is the best already out there and use that instead of using money we don't have to build it.
Yeah,
Well,
and
here's the guy.
this
Man,
country
he
a little
hates me.
slower to an infrastructure. That might take 10 years knowing how they do it. I think they're gonna have to adopt. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't
How do
know.
you, what do you guys feel about Robinhood listing SHIB?
Ship to the moon. I seen
I
the price
mean,
action, man.
hype.
I think the first question would be, do they have the installed crypto wallets yet, or is it still like paper trading sheep?
I
I'll say
don't
this.
know. Go for it.
I don't have my Robinhood account anymore, but when I did have it, I had signed up on their wait list to be able to actually move crypto, like to actually have access of my keys, I guess, or
Yeah.
some
Yeah, the real
form.
crypto, basically.
Right. And so they did give, I did get an email saying that they were pretty much giving that ability to me. So, like, obviously, I don't know if everyone has it because I know you had to wait on a wait list for your turn, but I think you do have the ability now to actually hold it, send it, and, and
Oh,
move on and off.
yeah. They are rolling out in phases, and right here at
Yeah.
this Bloomberg article, you can see it's this news follows the rollout of new crypto wallet to 2 million users. So I think they're just doing it batches at a time, just to probably make sure it goes well and
In
everyone's not.
in
It's
that
not like breaking
case,
the system.
that's really bullish to have Robinhood because they have a big market,
Oh,
easy
yeah.
user interface, and all
Yeah.
of that. So it like that's actually a great move for all of crypto if
I
they
do
get
wonder
if
how.
it's like
I wish I
successful.
could see the statistics of like when they opened that, how many people moved their Dogecoin off of the platform and moved it to other wallets. That's what I always thought was going to be interesting when they opened that up. Like, why would you? Like, it's almost like you're shooting yourself in the foot because you're not earning any yield or you can't really participate in many things on Robinhood. So, like, if anybody owns Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, or whatever it is, like what benefit would they have to actually holding it on Robinhood versus sending it out elsewhere?
Yep.
Yeah, I think the same because it's like, well, are they going to pay our network fees? At this point when we're buying and sending, like how Cash App does with the Lightning network.
Right.
So it's kind of like what they're going to do there, and it does cause sell pressure. And I feel like if you're deep in crypto, like some of us here, you wouldn't buy it on Robinhood in the first place.
No.
No, I mean unless they have the wallets fully out and I can just move it somewhere. But because at that point, then I probably don't see it any different than Coinbase. But
No,
for since any time before these wallets, yeah, it's been really kind of against like kind of the antithesis of crypto to be buying it on
exactly.
Robinhood because for all you know, they don't even have them there. You know what I mean? They could just be allowing you to trade something that they actually don't even hold in their treasury. There's actually no way to know, especially
That's
if you can't.
highly likely.
Oh yeah, I think so. I honestly do think a lot of their crypto trading up until the wallets, and one of the reasons they took so long is because they actually didn't have all the crypto that they said they did.
Because
It's just
they only
a
let you buy with cash, sell out. So they always just
yeah,
really are dealing with cash and those settlements.
and
Um,
that's just speculation. So don't sue me, bro. But yeah. So how do you feel about the tokens they listed? They listed SHIB, Solana, Polygon,
We're mad,
and
bro. No
Compound.
algo.
I
Yeah,
feel like
no,
the only
where it
one
at?
that I was surprised to see in that list was Compound. Like I would have thought we would have saw like something more like an Avalanche with it, or
Yeah,
I mean, you name it. Some of the other Ethereum based protocols that are more popular. So Compound was the only one that I thought was kind of a shock. Obviously, yeah, I would love to see Algorand listed on something like Robinhood, Gemini. I mean, there's so many big exchanges that I'm surprised we've not seen Algo listed on yet. But
How many big exchanges is it missing on? Because any of the ones I mean, I don't use all of them, but any of the ones I do use have Algorand. I know Gemini is the one that doesn't primarily, but I'm not too sure about other
think
I'm
it's
ones.
just
Gemini
thinking
or
like young people. Like I know a lot of people, young people use Gemini. I know a lot of young people use Robinhood, and so like those are two really big ones. I think
Yep.
that you're missing out on. Obviously, yeah, you got Coinbase. I'm
What about
sure it's on
Webull?
Binance.
Yeah, it's not a
No, it's not on
it's not a
Webull.
Weeble yet. It's
So
so
and then,
strange. It's so strange to me that it's not on something like Weeble or Robinhood yet, but you can buy it through this company called I Trust Capital in your crypto IRA. You can create a retirement IRA
yeah,
fund, and they have Algorand.
What?
And it's like, how are they up with the times? But some of these super popular exchanges are not. So it's yeah. If you didn't know, I Trust Capital. Look up that
No,
look that company up. You can
I
you
will
can
say
put
I opened up a Bitcoin IRA with, I mean, obviously the company's called Bitcoin IRA.
yeah.
And for any reason, unbeknownst to me, I don't know why. I don't know if they have it now, but for the longest time, they had about 60 to 80 cryptos that you could buy. Algo wasn't one of them. As ultimately why I ended up moving mine off. I mean, I wanted to hold Algo in that account. I mean, I was holding some Bitcoin
go
and
back
ETH,
up real
but
quick to the
that
top.
was the one thing that I didn't get why they didn't have Algo listed.
They do. They have gold and silver as well, and this is a tax-advantaged crypto and
Like a Roth
precious metal
IRA.
IRA. Yep.
Oh wow.
You've got Roth, SEP, and traditional IRAs available.
Wow.
Let's see.
And I feel like it comes back to the whole point. I mean, I saw someone did quite a bit of research on like some of the new cryptos that Coinbase was about to list, and like, they did some sleuthing and found out that like three out of out of the eight that they were about to release, like almost three of them were, you could clearly tell were like awful scams meant to just
Oh,
rug pull people from their money, and like they're down 90 something 99%, and like there's no real longevity of this token. But like but then they also pointed out, and like I said, this is not my research, it's something I saw on a Twitter thread, but it showed that insiders to Coinbase were buying this token right before it got listed. Like I think
yeah.
that's just
I
it's
seen that
still
on
some
Reddit.
manipulation. And so I'm sure that also is what pulls some of these major exchanges to either hold or list certain cryptos.
Yeah, because it's like if you can do what you just described, get in early, you put 100,000 in, you're gonna make 1 million off that 10x easy.
I would.
Then you dump easy.
Damien said, "Would Robinhood listing Algorand be a good move?" 100%. I mean, exposure is good. I mean, think of how many new investors are coming into Robinhood, and who their knowledge of crypto is probably small, but Robinhood still does a good job, I feel, at like, if you click on a certain crypto, you can see some articles, so it gives them the ability to do some research and learn more. And
Yeah.
especially, I think it even would be really good for something like Robinhood, because like you go to Coinbase, like there's so many cryptos, it's like it's hard to really know which one should I be buying. Whereas like if it were to list right now on something like Robinhood, there's what, 8 cryptos I think that
You,
they offer, maybe 10.
it's funny that you said that about Coinbase because like I remember the days where Coinbase had just so few coins and everyone was like almost mad at Coinbase because they had to go to all these other sketchy exchanges to get some of the coins they wanted, and now they have too many coins and everyone's mad again. They're like, all right, now you're listing too much and all the shit coins, so you stop that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they do have I think crypto.com has too much. I think they all have too much at this point. And
It
it's
is.
like I
Yeah.
always tell folks just make sure you look at the top 10 or top 20 if you are, indecisive, because at least those ones have a higher shot of staying.
Shout out to
Go
SoFi.
go a little lower than the top 20 because that's where Algorand is. But yeah, I get you. I
You
get
know
your
what I
feeling.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Top 32. Okay, let's
Yeah.
say
yeah. There
top
you go.
32.
I was
But
gonna
yeah,
say shout out
that's
to
where I'm at with it.
SoFi, because SoFi actually has Algorand listed
Oh, I
on
saw
there.
that actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yep.
still
That's cool.
actually hold some over there. I've not sold it. I bought all of it at like 80 cents back when I first started, because I was just testing out the SoFi platform. And so I'm not selling that. I'll let it sit over there and ride. I actually have some of my Decentraland mana over there as well.
And they're a pretty big
So
company
far.
too. So that's not a small feat to be honest.
But they don't have their wallets open. So that's the only
Yeah, but
thing
they're
I would
kind of like
say.
how
It kind of
Robinhood was. Yeah.
sucks. And I've
But
actually
yeah,
emailed
it's
back
really
and
just
forth with
playing
them to ask
cash.
them if they're going to open up their wallets. And
If the market demands it, they'll do it because that's where the money is. They'll notice that everyone's buying crypto elsewhere besides on SoFi, and I'd imagine that's coming with time for sure. I mean, just from a good business standpoint, I couldn't imagine they wouldn't do that. But So, we talked about it a little bit last time, but how do you guys feel about Earth Day speculation now that we're getting a little bit closer?
Let David take that one. All those
Yeah,
leaks.
I have nothing. I mean, obviously they had that Earth Day. What was it? They had some type of metaverse
She
thing
tagged the
drop
wrong
today from the
people.
foundation. What was
She
it?
tagged the wrong algo found member.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
This was actually kind of funny. Please, Algo fam, y'all need to stop asking me
Yeah, I had it.
what we
Yeah,
are doing for
think of
Earth
that
Day.
person, whoever owns that account, getting like all the notifications. Probably like, what the heck?
It's so funny because you click on it, it's just the most random person, and I don't even know what language he's speaking, to be honest.
I'm gonna say
yeah.
Paris. It
But
looks
in
like the Eiffel
terms
Tower.
of Earth Day, like
Paris is
so,
French.
we should be suspecting an announcement, and yeah, we haven't heard anything. I seen was it Jason Lee also, looked like he was gonna flirt with an announcement, but did not make one. But
Yep.
we have
Yeah.
a whole week if I'm correct, right?
Yes, it's on the 22nd, so we still have
22nd.
some time. But they did release a tweet today. The foundation did, saying that there is a like metaverse thing. It's gonna be like 4 a.m. because it's, I guess, I don't know why, but I think it's gonna be like, I think they're gonna do it and it's gonna be recorded, and then you're gonna be able to watch it, I guess, during the day. I went and signed up for it. There's a link on their Twitter you can follow to be on there, but something about the green blockchain, the green metaverse. I hope that it's something way bigger than that, but obviously I have literally have no idea. I literally went to look at like Earth Day 2022, like the website, to see if there's any big events that they have going on. I was trying to see if they had any partnerships, like any big companies that are partnering this year. Like,
Do
I
you know?
literally can't find anything.
Do you know if they did anything last year?
I have no idea.
Uh,
They probably did, but I have no
That
idea.
was like right when I was buying Algorand before, but I didn't really start doing research, so I probably wasn't even like on the radar really that much on like what the foundation was doing.
I'll
Yeah.
say this: it's probably good news. I mean, it's probably beneficial news,
It's like,
but
yeah.
I'm not positive it's like gonna be all the hype that it's getting.
That's what I'm afraid of.
And even if it is like fantastic news, I mean, unless it pulls money from other chains, I don't see new money pouring into the blockchain ecosystem anyway. So, like, what effect will even great news have in this current market is still yet to be seen.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you
it's
now, it's going to
something-
be they're going to drop the news. Algorand's going to be like 68 cents, 67 cents. It's going to underwhelm, and that's going to be what just gets everybody to say, like,
So,
gets everybody in an uproar, and we're going to see Algorand tank to like 50 cents.
the announcement is going to be
I'll buy a bunch,
partner
so
with
I'm
Oh,
fine with
yeah.
it.
Greta
If it
Thunberg partnership. That's what it's
Oh,
going to
hell no.
if it went to 50 cents, I'd probably start unloading a lot of my stablecoin positions. So
I'm sorry,
no,
if they make a partnership with Greta Thunberg,
That's what it's going to be.
I don't even know.
David's out. I'll buy yours for pennies on the dollar, David.
The new ESG movement. Greta Thunberg, Algorand.
Oh man,
Nah,
yeah, that would hurt.
Yeah.
that would.
Yeah, I wonder because I don't think announcements will help none of us in terms of price because, like, yeah, I agree, JT. The money is in crypto right now, and we need something else to get more money in the
I mean, I'm
crypto.
trying to think like what big green companies, like, obviously I know there are some, but like I literally like as far as like speculating, like
I
I
have
just
a
have no
speculation.
idea.
I have a speculation, which I guess could be the only reasonable speculation I can come up with, and that is the announcement of the Big Green DAO on Algorand, moving it from ETH to Algorand. And anyone that doesn't know, the Big Green DAO is the DAO that's run by Kimball Musk, Elon Musk's brother, and he recently started investing in Dequency on Algorand, so he's aware of Algorand. So, I mean, maybe he is moving that Big Green DAO over here. It's probably one of the largest DAOs out there, and he's announced publicly numerous times how he's having trouble running the DAO on Ethereum because it's just not financially practical to do so.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Good insight.
I feel like that's the best speculative bet we've made, other than that one guy who saw Epic and said maybe they're partnering with Fortnite and Epic Games.
It's going to be a NFT one with like Algorand or something like that.
Oh yeah, there's going to be an NFT for sure.
It's got
But
to be an NFT thing.
I feel like it's going to be more than just an NFT, but there's definitely going to be NFTs. There's no doubt in my mind.
They've also hinted that the end of this month is supposed to be like when they're releasing that huge onslaught of marketing and PR stuff that they've apparently Algorand Foundation hired a very big PR firm to handle that. So I'm sure it'll be more things, but I feel like the green, Earth Day or whatever will be like to kick it off, and then like they're gonna have a rollout of other announcements and other updates. Hopefully, I mean, I like obviously I love the partnerships and stuff, but I just can't wait to see the actual transactions per second upgrade
Yep.
happen.
Yep.
I can't wait to see some of the other like tech upgrades come through.
You
Yep.
know what
No,
I
I
want to
agree.
see is more compatibility of like I need to be able to send another coin from a different blockchain over to Algorand. That's what I want to see more.
Yeah, whatever chain figures that out first, like
Yeah,
successfully, will definitely be pretty much a top dog in the space because that is it is a pain in the neck really to go from like Bitcoin to
yeah.
Algorand or any chain from Algorand. You got to use a bridge or you just got to sell first and then buy on
Right.
the other
And that's what
chain.
I always have to do, and I hate doing that because then that's a taxable event. You
Yeah,
actually got issues there.
yeah,
So I need that. Yeah, I need to go from algo to whatever chain and back and forth without ever leaving. Like how we now do is stable. We go from AlgoFi to Lofty and back and forth. I
yeah.
need that.
Hey, I think state proofs could usher that in, but
Yes.
I know all of us would like it to be here now, but I
Yeah.
have patience. I have patience. Stacy cracks me up. Excited for Earth Day. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's funny. I mean, we'll see if it's all worth the hype. To be honest, I like I said, I really hope it's something maybe like the Big Green DAO. Maybe they do just for some reason, even though it has nothing about Earth Day, they do announce the 10K TPS upgrade because they said it was supposed to be coming out around this time or like within the next couple weeks or something like that.
So would that
So
put our transactions like at 2 seconds, or still be at 4, but just able to handle more transactions?
I think it's supposed to.
Finality would still stay around 4, I think.
Mhm.
Is it because I don't know if it's
I
with the
heard a
same.
2.5.
Yeah, I don't know if it's with the same upgrade or if it would be a different upgrade, but I know they're working on shifting it down to 2.5 as well. Which
That's going to change the whole game right there.
oh, it would
Mhm.
you would be pretty. I mean, I know some people are saying like we don't have that level of transactions yet anyway, so why does that upgrade matter? But one, if adoption takes off rapidly, you want to have the rails there to withstand that adoption. You don't want the adoption to be taking off and you be behind the curveball and be
You
like,
become
"Oh, we,
Ethereum.
we got to upgrade our tech so we can keep up with the adoption that's happening." We want to be ahead of the adoption curve, but on the other end of it, it's a great marketing tool. You saw how Solana was able to market their inflated and add an asterisk next to 46,000 or whatever they have TPS, and you saw how well that worked for them. So in my mind, it'll be great for marketing and it'll be great for when that adoption curve comes because you don't want to be behind it. You want to be in front of it.
Yeah, or you're 100% going to be Ethereum. I think they just extended theirs down to what, like the end of the year now about their upgrade.
Oh man, they're
I don't know if it's
delaying.
going to happen.
They've been delaying the inevitable since 2019. So I don't know. I don't know how much longer people can just wait for ETH 2.0. I mean, I think got rid of the ETH 2.0 name anyway and just started calling it the merge because it
Yeah.
was confusing people or
Like
whatever.
even I got some ETH stuck on Coinbase, just
Hmm.
like a whole bunch of people who was like, "Oh, we thought it was coming," and then here we are
And
waiting.
now it's permanently stuck. I think that's
Yeah,
why Ethereum's not coming down in price. Everyone's
we
got it
can't
locked up
sell.
in everyone's got it locked up in this ETH 2.0 protocol that's never coming.
Yeah, smart move by Ethereum. Huh? All right,
Yeah.
what's next, y'all?
Yeah, that is kind of hilarious to think about, to be honest.
Governance?
Yeah, next we've got governance strategies. What did everyone end up doing for governance?
Well, me, I put a little bit more algos on there into AlgoFi. I'm 100% in the vault. All my
Nice.
algos are on AlgoFi. I got like 2 different AlgoFi accounts I use, but they're all on there. And I am not going to take out any more leverage. I'm trying to just wait it out,
Yep.
and just wait until pricing appreciation, and then I'm just holding my bag on the AlgoFi. What about y'all?
I did the same amount. Well, obviously the amount I had in past governance with my rewards, rolled those into AlgoFi's vault. I'm going to test out AlgoFi first for this one, and then obviously the rest of mine, I'm just all the other algos I have pretty much on AlgoFi. I've pretty much been using it, but I'm looking at possibly incorporating some folks finance. Not
Yep.
obviously not their governance, but possibly just using their platform and as well as PactFi during this governance period to take advantage of some of the Aeneas rewards that are out there. But no, I think AlgoFi obviously did a great job. They got almost 90 million, 83 million vaulted total.
83 million.
Yeah, it's pretty good for their part. I think they got 12 or 13 million over at Folks Finance, and I don't think Guard's information has come out yet. I'd love to see what their information is. But as
What's the
for
total?
the
Is it
total,
almost 4 billion?
yeah, the
I thought
total
it's
is
funny. No,
just under
it's
4 billion,
which is funny that the
3.95
foundation
billion.
put 4 billion there. It's like they're trying to cheese, like, but you can hover over it. It's actually like three
They got
point
to put
nine
three
five.
point nine. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, so that's what 60% of the circulating supply. Amazing.
yeah, it's just about 60% of the circulating supply, which
Amazing.
is pretty intense. It's up almost 10% from last period. The last period was 49% committed. I mean, of course, some people dropped out over time, but there was still a substantial amount in there by the end of the period. So
Yeah.
I think if we have a similar amount of dropout rate, we might drop down to the beginning amount of last period, which was still like 49%, 50%. So that, I mean, that's a great commitment level, to be honest.
I
Yeah.
think something that was interesting to me is how the first governance period we had like 51,000 governors. Most of those stayed through the entire time. There wasn't really a big drop. Then you had the second round. I want to say it was like 40,000 something governors, but that was at the start. But then it ended like in the 30 something thousand governors range. So we actually saw quite a few people drop out of being eligible and being a governor in the second period. So this one actually is the highest with 58,000 governors. So it'll be interesting to see, if that many people make a vote, because then that would be obviously more than we had the very first time, which set a record for the most people to have a vote, a decentralized vote on a protocol, upgrade or moving forward, thing like that. But I also think that depends upon the price action. Obviously, if we see algo rocket, back above $2 or something, I can almost guarantee that people are going to be pulling their algos out of governance and possibly moving them around.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think the vaulting is gonna, make us have to go through a few more steps to do it. So I think that will help us out a lot on terms of the 80 million that's on AlgoFi. But yeah,
I
at
do.
$2 Moon, I mean, at $2.52, people are going to sell.
Yeah, I do think that I do like the fact, obviously, hoping that, the vault doesn't get exploited and there's nothing like that we see this first period on any of the protocols, Folks, AlgoFi, or AlgoGuard. But I do like the fact of having my algos in the vault, and then like I can use my main wallet now without
Freely.
having to worry about dropping below that number. So
Yeah.
that is a cool thing that I like having there. And obviously, I like being able to contribute to the TVL, which I think as Algorand continues to grow, the next period, especially like I said, if there's no issues, no exploits, nothing bad happens, I think that's super bullish for the next one. AlgoFi and Folks and Guard could end up really unlocking even more of that, 4 billion that's in governance and bringing that over.
And what
Yeah, I
about you,
agree.
JT?
I agree. Most of my algo is in AlgoFi, but I am also using Folks Finance because I think their wrapped algo idea is actually really cool because you're unlocking that liquidity without going on leverage. You're not having to borrow. You're just given this wrapped algo which you can use however you want. You can sell it, you can do whatever. So you're not taking on debt. You're just replacing it with a wrapped algo. And when at the end of the period, you just have to give your wrapped algo back to get your regular algo, if you even want to. If you've sold your wrapped algo and made more money, you might not even want to get your original algo back. But regardless, I
So
am doing.
if you got the wrapped algo, you can
Yeah.
then unwrap it. Anybody can unwrap it.
Anybody can unwrap it after the governance period. So you can't go and unwrap it right now because the governance period is going on. And if they let everyone unwrap it, then the pool itself would go under the committed stake. But at the end of the period, anybody that's holding a G algo can go unwrap it for an algo. So I've actually been purchasing when I want to go buy algo, I've been buying G algo whenever it's cheaper than algo because you're essentially getting more Algorand that you're able to unmint later. But yeah, so my plan is AlgoFi, Vaults, and Folks Finance, earning the 7% yield there. And then I'm LPing on PactFi. I'm LPing my Algo and my Go PTC for about 63%, my Algo and Go Mint for about 113%. I'm LP farming on TinyMan with Algo and the G Algo that I got from Folks Finance at about 21%. And then I'm staking on Yieldly for XET for 28%, Yieldly for 24%. Of course, I'm on AlgoFi, staking in that boosted
Wait,
stake.
wait. You said you have some Yieldly?
I have this. Yeah, yeah. I told you about this. I told you about this last episode
Yeah, I'm just playing with
when I
you.
when I bought the Yieldly because of the burn, and yeah,
Yeah, you
we can
stuck.
talk. No, we can talk about that because actually some Yieldly news came up anyway. But then of course I'm staking stable in that boosted pool. Last I checked, it was about 30%. DFly, Opulus, and Lofty AI. That's my governance and yield farming strategy currently.
Nice, nice. Yeah, you nice breakdown.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want, we can move right
Let's,
on to Yieldly
yeah,
because
let's go to the
that was
next
actually the next conversation anyway. Did you guys hear the recent news about them trying to burn either 1 or 3 million Yieldly every month for 12 months, depending on the vote?
Yeah, yeah. What was
I
that
saw that.
percentage? The number?
Not a significant one. It was 0.36% if you went with the higher option. The
One
three,
third of a percent. Ooh.
yeah, a third of a percent. So like really, and that's with the higher option. The other option would have been what, like 0.1%, something like that.
So I
So
see the exciting thing is there that they're working with Choice Coin to do the vote, which
yep,
using Yieldly instead of a iYieldly or a new token. So I'll
I
say
agree.
community, we won in
Yep,
terms of having them not do that.
yep.
So and I met Brian of, I think that's his name, Brian of Choice Coin, right? It seems like they're doing a lot of good work. I need to do a lot more research still, but I keep hearing about them. I've done a chat with one of their founders, and that's pretty cool.
I will say this: it's funny because like so many people in the Reddit community for Yieldly are like blasting Yieldly because they're like, "Wait a minute, you mean to tell me that I got to withdraw my Yieldly to from staking to go and vote? Oh, and for this proposal and stuff, and I can't keep my things. And obviously, there's moderators there and people trying to say like, well, y'all didn't like the idea of the iYieldly token, which they brought. So to
Yep.
me, it's like I just feel like the meme of like SpongeBob forgetting his name and like all the SpongeBob's running around in his head with everything's on fire and just like trying to figure something out. Like that's still, in my opinion, kind of where Yieldly's at. Like obviously they need, to they're still trying to regroup from losing whatever devs they lost. Like they've not been able to get the headline to headline pull back up.
Nope.
They've not been able to get the other ones that they were promising for that type of distribution with the auto compounding. Obviously, that's when a lot of their issues started, was when they tried
CO5.
putting through that. And so, and honestly, you look at them, I mean, they don't even have, I mean, what if you go to Yieldly's platform? Literally, I think now even more of their pools, staking pools, have
They got like
expired.
two left, I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah,
all with
and I
low
mean,
percentages.
other than if you have XET or if you have some LP tokens, like maybe you can still keep them in there. But most of the tokens, even then, are community coins. I mean, obviously, Crypto Nerd is very bullish on them
Shout out
because
to
he has
Crypto
his token
Nerd.
over there. But that you have to take that with a grain of salt because obviously you're gonna pump your own token. And not gonna say that's a bad thing, but I mean realistically, I mean what is that, 4 pools for
They're all
staking?
about to end.
4 pools. Yep.
Yeah,
And only 2 for liquidity pools,
Yep.
yeah.
and
That's,
one
I
for
mean that's,
distribution pools. Wow.
and they had, like, to me it's just like, and they keep hinting that they have something planned, but and even another bigger glaring thing was Borderless Capital saying that they deployed $20 million in funds, and they listed almost every DeFi platform except Yieldly. I mean,
Yep.
I feel like that's pretty big, and it sucks. Like obviously, I
Hey,
don't
they
want
took
Yieldly
that
to do bad.
Polygon money. They took the Polygon money. What's up with that project?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard really much about that project either, which is really
Nothing at
interesting.
all.
Uh, I will say I agree with what you said, Will, that it is a win, I think, for the Yieldly token itself that they didn't go with iYieldly because it brings more utility to the token, and without more utility, the token is going to continue to suffer. So I think adding iYieldly would have been disastrous, to be honest. And there's really no other way to do it. If you didn't want iYieldly, then the only other way to do it is to unstake your Yieldly to vote. I mean, you could put it right back in the pool when the voting is over, but I mean, you still have to use the token to vote. I will say though about their burning, it just seems like a pure hype machine that is like all theater because their first the option 1 is to burn 1 million Yieldly per month for the next 12 months. That's 12 million Yieldly. They just burned 10 million Yieldly the other day when they announced that burn, and
Oh shit, you're right.
it did nothing. And
Nothing. That's
there's
like 10 months of one day.
There, there are 10 billion yieldly in total supply. Like this is 0.1% of the supply, which they've already done once, and now they're like, but we'll do that again over the course of the year.
This is something to really consider with this burning. When they're burning, they're essentially locking it into a smart contract and throwing away the keys. But to me, I still know that Udly is out there, though that we can't access it. And they're also just burning their own bags, from my understanding.
That's
So yeah,
That's
so
pretty much what burning is
yeah,
throughout the ecosystem, though. Even Algorand, when they did the buybacks at the beginning, when I mean, a lot of people don't know because they're latecomers, but when Algorand launched, its token price fell dramatically from like 3 to like 20 cents,
it was
and
like 3.6 or something.
they actually did a token buyback and they bought back millions of tokens and they actually burned millions of tokens as well. So there's like 20 or 30 million Algorand in a burn wallet somewhere that the Algorand Foundation created and don't have the keys to.
Yeah, so when you're doing that, you can then go to what Coin Market Cap and all these places and be like, hey, take that off our listing. We only got 10 billion now, or whatever that number is. That's what the part that's always interesting to me.
In theory, if you can prove it, I don't think they took off their burn amount. I think that 20 million still technically is in the
small.
total supply. Yeah, because in the same scenario with the 20 million tokens, when the supply is 10 billion, that's like 0.1,
Yeah,
0.2% of the supply. That's really nothing. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm thinking, JT definitely bought back in. So
I foolishly bought back in when they announced the burning because I didn't realize it was going to
it
be
worked.
such. I didn't realize it was going to be theater.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
it's a good move.
But see, and this still goes back to my, what I said. I think a couple.
I just wanted to trade it.
Episodes
By the way, I
ago.
didn't want to. I wasn't jumping back in as like an investor. I just wanted to trade it.
Yeah, it's like if they can come up with something, like they had with the no loss lottery, like when that was a really cool feature that everyone enjoyed, and it was at the time, obviously, there wasn't anything else really to compete against, so they did
Yeah.
have the first mover advantage, but. I feel like they just need to spend this time similar to what Smilecoin did. Like you saw how Smilecoin,
they're coming back
tried
soon.
living off of hype, and then they kind of got, their token got trashed and went all the way down because they couldn't come through on their hype. And then now they've just been building. They have, way more, user functions on their app, and they're actually like trying to build their community from a small group up to bigger numbers. Like if Yieldly can do that and actually have a product on their platform that's not just staking, useless, community tokens that create downward selling pressure, then, I think there is something you could see for the long term.
And they still need to work on their communication and transparency. Like no more posts that say GM, good morning, or whatever. Because some of us are at nighttime when you're writing that. Okay? Things of that nature. You got to be like, we're in a global world with crypto. Talk to everybody. Communicate more often. Like I'm telling people, talk to us once a week. We're doing it here, and we have not dropped a project yet, and we're here once a week. Like at least, like talk to us. Give these
Twice a week lately.
Twice a week lately. So it's like that Yuli could definitely get some advice from what we're doing here.
Yeah,
Or a
it's
lot
kind of
of
like Zone. Zone's another really big platform that I was super excited about. But their team kind of follows the same. Like they just kind of go dark for a while, and then all of a sudden they do an onslaught of tweets and saying updates and things that they're doing. Opulus has done the same.
I don't mind that strategy if you're going dark and actually building something, and when you come back into
Yes.
the light, it's like, oh, look at this cool thing I built. Because AlgoFi has done that plenty of times where they're not announcing their next thing, they're just building it, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, here's this next thing. Everyone was blindsided when they announced they were going to do governance, and same thing with the Lofty AI partnership with Stable. None of that was pre-announced. They were just making it happen, and then they announced it. There's too much like trying to create hype and string everything along with hype, but no substance, and that's not going to work in the long run.
No, I tell people, with my channel, like, none of us have the largest channels ever, but what I do consistently see is the work. Like, no hype, just work,
Yeah.
and work. That's like the main thing. And that dropping of the product is your hype. That is your announcement. Because like what you say with AlgoFi, you are successfully, we got vaults now. Oh shit,
Yeah.
let's use them. They're working fine. And then we get, Zap comes. Like we got more things happening, and there's no hype, only work. It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's part of the reason my two favorite projects so far are Lofty and Algofy. They're the least hype projects, but they're the most useful projects in my opinion. So
Yes,
I
me
don't
too.
know.
I
that
did.
being
I will say this: I did buy a small bag of DFly in Headline. I had to.
Oh, there you go. I mean, I'm still a big holder of DFly, so I have no qualms with that. Buy
Okay.
some more. How
I
do you
hear
guys feel about onto something more light?
you.
How about the Elon Musk hostile Twitter takeover? He
Let me go ahead.
of course we know he bought 9.2% of the company, but there is some pushback about him joining the board because he's got to kind of bend to their desires and he doesn't want to do that. So he's actually putting out an offer to just buy the entire company outright at a premium, so for more than Twitter's worth on the open market, and take it private, take it off of the public market and turn it back into a private company. How do you guys feel about that?
Let me tap in. For one, I don't trust nothing Elon Musk say. Because tomorrow, if this sell, yes, because if this doesn't go through, if you read the other fine print, he gonna sell everything and dump Twitter.
Well, that's the threat. I think
That's the threat. Yeah.
that's
So
the threat.
he's gonna dump.
You buy 9.2% of the company, and then you can, if you, especially if you don't do it at OTC, over the counter markets, you could crush the price of the company. It's like, hey, like, let me buy the company, or else I'm just going to destroy the price of the shares anyway. So I mean, it's an interesting
This is why
leverage position.
Yeah, I don't like it because what Elon Musk does is he manipulates the minds and hearts of the people that uses Twitter. So he does things like this, and he might already own the whole company by the time we hear the next announcement, right? But people will be like, "Oh, I told Elon is listening to it. He's not listening to the people. He's doing what he does, and then we all are reacting to it. And then he goes left, right, left, right. Like, what am I going to do? He always changes his mind. So I don't like that aspect of him. And that's not free speech no more if you take it back private.
Well, I mean, it would still be if you keep it an open platform. It's just the thing is, I understand the idea of taking it back to the private market because when you're a publicly traded company, you no longer have much say over your company, and all of your public shareholders, your biggest shareholders, are the ones that have the say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you actually wanted to have a company that was less controlled by maybe certain politically inclined shareholders, I can understand the idea of taking the company private. But I do get what you're saying. He certainly is a master at manipulating markets,
Yes.
and there's even news that he announced that he bought those Twitter shares far after he was supposed to legally announce the purchase, just so he could continue to buy at such a low price. So, I mean,
I don't trust it.
I'm conflicted because I'm conflicted because I agree with the stated goals of making Twitter more open and free with speech and what have you. But I do agree with what you're saying that there's a lot of manipulation that he takes part in, at least when it comes to the market.
And then from the beginning, we go, okay, this is Jack Dorsey's company. It's not Elon Musk's company. People are already forgetting, like, just because you tweet the most on Twitter between like him and Kevin Durant and Donald Trump or something.
Hey, he's technically almost a bigger owner than he is a bigger owner now. So I mean,
yes, agree. Yes, yes, right. David, what you got?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess like one, like coming from someone who just like recently started to use Twitter again, like I literally didn't use Twitter for the longest time until I got back into crypto and actually saw that like a lot of crypto projects are actually like, they use Twitter. So, like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, I feel like are old and ultimately are going to die out. So like, I would say, why not use that money for something better than buying Twitter? Especially with some of the, you said, he flip flops. He says he's going to do this and he does that. Like I was telling JT before this thing started, I swear I remember him tweeting out like 5, 6, 7 months ago about how he's going to like use some of his money and like eradicate world hunger and do all this stuff.
No, he
and
was
it's like,
shit.
and it's like, that I'm pretty sure that amount of money was way less than this money that he's saying he's going to buy. So like, I take it as I take what he tweets and stuff with a grain of salt. Like obviously, yeah, he's a manipulator, just like most eccentric billionaires are. Like when you get that much money means nothing to you. Like all they want is power and control. Like that's
fame.
it.
He wants fame.
Fame, power, control, notoriety, all those things. Like that's what they want. And so like, to me, I don't really care. I'm more excited about like, what's coming next. Like what possibly is going to replace the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Instagrams. Obviously TikTok is still really big, but I don't even use that. I know it's a cool platform and a lot of people use it, but to me, it's like, I don't know. I just don't. I know it would take too much of my time away, which obviously Twitter already does, and I don't probably need to be on it as much as I am out here making
TikTok
tweets
is
against Stacey Warden. But I don't know. As far as me, I don't really care what he does with his money. Like if he wants to buy Twitter and turn it into some decentralized, redo the logo to the Doge symbol and pump Doge to the moon. Like, hey, have at it. I'm more excited. Let's get the Love Chain, right? Love Chain's building on Algorand. Let's get
Shout out
it
to
back
the Love Chain, yeah.
and make it one of the biggest social media things out there.
Oh man,
Yeah, Elon is a fool because he's very entertaining though, but he's a fool. Like
I will say, like,
billionaire.
I don't know. You also see like some of the good things that they do, like just like he obviously he's a human. Like you've mentioned his brother or Kimball Musk. Like seems like a cool guy. Like you want to hate these people because of like where they're maybe where they're at and the things they do with their money. But then like you get in a room with them and you talk to them and like it's almost hard to hate them, like because then they can almost like win you over by how they talk or how smooth of a talker they are. I don't know, but
I don't know about you.
I think we're all too binary in this world anyway, because like for the most part, I like the Musks, but just like everybody I come in contact with, there are things I dislike about people. You know what I mean? Like everything's not all good or bad. You're not going to like enjoy what somebody says 100% of the time. You're not going to agree with the way somebody thinks 100% of the time. So, I think the less binary, hate love conversation is probably good. That being said, hate love. How do you guys feel about the market? You hate it? You love it? What do you think?
What's Algorand at right now? 71 cents? 72.
I mean, honestly, with the market right now, I'm like for buying. I'm like, okay, it's good buying time right now. Again, I feel like this is for the 50th time this year, but I'm like, good buy time.
This is like, I mean, if you look at the macro trend of Algorand, this is a historically a really good time to buy, or a good price point to buy at. Obviously, the overall market does not say that. The overall market screams that there is a lot of potential for many bad things that could possibly come and could hammer. I mean, we saw what happened when Algorand was, before 2020, it looked like it was, or before COVID, it looked like it was on a good run. And then obviously COVID hit and knocked it all the way down to its all-time low of like 10 cents. So, you don't know if there's that type of, event on the horizon that could really do some damage. But I mean, I do think right now is a good time if you're someone who's getting into Algorand, or even if you have a small bag, it's a great spot to dollar cost average and lower your average.
Yeah, I agree. It is a great time to be dollar cost averaging. It is a great time to be buying, not like aping in. Obviously, if you have, say, you had $1,000, don't just throw $1,000 into the market right now and then have nothing to continue to buy with over time, because it might not turn around this week or this month. But I mean, historically, this is the global in and out of the money chart. So like the green represents how many people are in the money and the red represents how many people are out of the money, or AKA like in losses. And the last two times the out of the money, the red here, has reached down to this level, we've had pretty sustained pumps. I think this one right here was like a 2.5x, and then after this one was like an 8.5x. I mean, of course, it was the following 11 to 12 months, so this turnaround might not be instant, but this is a great time to be buying. And if we have a similar 11 to 12 months like we did the last time we were in this period, could be, you'll be looking back, kicking yourself that you didn't buy more. So in my opinion, it is a great time to be buying, great time to be dollar cost averaging. Another thing you can see right here, this blue line is the volatility, this blue squiggly line. This black line is the price. And as you can see, once in the screen line I put here down at the bottom, when the volatility's got this low, we've also had great run-ups the first two times, a small run-up the third time. We are back down this low right now. I think, like I said, this is just another indicator that this is a great time to be dollar cost averaging, probably rather heavy. Of course, none of this is financial advice, so don't take our word for it. Go do your own due diligence before you're aping into the market. But there are a lot of good signs for Algorand. If we toggle this back right here, Algorand is just about 10% away from its all-time high in TVL in dollar terms. When you look at it in algo terms, it's blowing through this previous all-time high by like 60, 70, 80%, which is rather incredible. If you turn on borrows, our total value locked is reaching almost 300 million, which is pretty great. And I know a lot of you on YouTube follow me on Twitter, so you probably saw my tweet about it. But if you go down over here on DeFi Llama, you can see the market cap to TVL ratio, which is now down to 17.7, which is amazing because back in January, and by the way, the closer to zero, the better. Back in
Cardano's at 98.
yeah, yeah, I don't understand Cardano, but
That makes sense.
back in January, Algorand, the TVL market cap to TVL ratio was about 62 or 66. At the beginning of April, it came down to the 30s. The other day, it was 25. Now it's 17. I mean, and you look at the chains that are at the top. You've got Ethereum at 2.4. You've got Luna at 1.0. You've got Binance Smart Chain at 4. You've got Avalanche at 1. There's a common theme here. There's Solana at 4.5. All of these chains are higher in market cap than Algorand and have a much better market cap to TVL ratio. But we are rapidly getting closer to in a fairly valued market cap TVL ratio, which I think will overall be great for Algorand because it'll make Algorand begin to look like a much better investment to the broader market for the people that aren't diehard Algorand people that understand it. Other people look at these sort of metrics and go, oh, which chain are people using? Which chains are overvalued or undervalued based on how much user ability they have in the DeFi platform? So it's something to keep an eye out. Yeah, something to keep an eye out for. Things, in my opinion, don't look too bullish on the macro end of the spectrum. You know, we've still got that prolonged Russia-Ukraine war. We've got the worst inflation prints in like 40 years. So
8.5%.
The macro headwinds don't look great, but I will say, based on everything I just showed, it does not look like a bad time to be buying Algorand. I am continuing to buy Algorand every week. I'm continuing to unload some stable coins. There is this one issue where like I try to unload, like I said, I have like 35% stable coins. I try to unload some, and then the price goes down, and then I'm back to 35% stable coins. I'm like, Jesus, I need to do this again. It's whatever. I'm trying to get that back down to maybe like 25% at this point because the prices are great, and if they go lower, I'm going to continue to buy.
I will say this: my market sentiment could be summed up in two tweets I saw today. One was from the Amazon, or I think from their CEO, what he tweeted out saying that he sees the crypto market obviously continuing to grow, especially you look on time horizons like by year 2030. Then also I like starting to follow this guy, Tim Peterson guy, and some of the stuff he puts out. He says he doesn't guess the tops and the bottoms, and obviously he's referring to Bitcoin here, so this is not on Algorand, but he says the bottom was already in at 0 and there is no top. That's the way I see it. Bottom was already set. You could say maybe Algorand's was 10 cents. I don't know, but bottom's already in. There is no top, guys. We're investing in a new asset class that give it 5-10 years. If you're holding the right things and you have conviction on the right plays, I don't think you're going to be, you have a lot of money to play with. It's gonna be and even Kathy Wood, she even tweeted out, it's gonna be a fun ride.
Yeah, I seen some statistics too. It was like they were asking about what consumers are into in terms of investments. Number one was real estate. Number two was like I think it was bonds or some random shit or something like that. But at the very bottom, right next to stocks, was crypto, only by 1% away. And I was like, yes. Before crypto wouldn't even been on that list,
Yeah, slowly but surely, for sure.
I hope that Stacy. Kathy Wood. I don't know. I had Stacey Ward in my head. Kathy Wood, her headquarters is moving literally like a 5-minute walk from where I live right now. Like her new headquarters here in St. Pete, where she's moving from New York. So maybe I'll be able to finagle my way over there one time and have a chat with her about.
Oh, that would be great.
Right. Yeah. There's gonna be like a couple coffee shops I think popping up right there. So I'm just gonna have to like position myself there in the morning sometime to catch her and ask her some questions.
Yeah, that would be cool. But listen to the Peter Thiel real quick. He was like basically thinking of like Bitcoin, like don't compare it to Ethereum and JT's like, but payment processor. But it's like compare it to the equities market. And then that's what I'm looking at. Like that's a better comparison. And I think that's a good insight to look at the markets that way.
Yeah, and we've got a commenter here that's making a good point. We haven't made the point on this show today, but I've made this point numerous times. The last 2 times we've probably met together. There is a big support right here at 68, but the more we test it, the more likely it is that we could break through it. And we've said plenty of times that the next line of support isn't until 50 cents, and they want to reiterate the same point, and it's a good point to make because even though, like I said, I still do think it's a good time to dollar cost average. That doesn't mean the market's going to turn around. It very well could continue to stumble back down to, say, 50 cents. But that being said, honestly, I would buy more at 50 cents, so I'm not too worried about that. But of course, it is something that you should be aware of if you're thinking of aping in right now, because I said dollar cost average, which you should never do because I'm not a financial advisor. Just
it's like aping at any point is also like usually turns bad.
Yeah,
Like,
just don't ape in regardless.
Right. And I feel like, especially because like with AlgoFi and stuff like this, like usually when the markets like are, when they're running like crazy, like we saw back in 2017 or even, this last one, it's when people like start to really leverage, like go really far leverage and get like this artificially, number of people who are holding it just because they're borrowing and they're buying more and they're borrowing and buying more and stuff like that. And so I feel like, if you have AlgoFi like I do, like if you think Algo could go to 50 cents or if you think Algo could go to 30 cents or whatever your max pain is, I do it all the time. I do the math and say, all right, if it went there, am I going to get liquidated? And because if I think that that's a reality within the next couple weeks that Algorand could flash crash to 50 cents, I sleep and I'm not trying to wake up and worry about that. So I'm going to make sure that if I wake up and Algorand's 50 cents, I'm not liquidated.
Yep. No, 100%. We should end on that safety point right there. Definitely, if you're using leverage on AlgoFi or Guard or even Folks Finance, because you can borrow and lend there. I know their governance thing isn't actually a leverage thing. They just give you a wrapped asset. But that being said, if you're using leverage at all, do some math. Figure out, if the price went to 30 cents, would you have enough collateral to still not get liquidated? And if the answer is no, you might want to deleverage and de-risk a little bit or add more to your collateral so that way you can withstand some crazy price falls, because this is crypto. Even if it wasn't sustained, you could have a crazy wick down to 30 cents tomorrow and the price be right back to 65 cents within an hour. So, and you don't want to get liquidated in that hour. So you make sure.
Because that'd be awful.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah. So make sure you develop your plans. That's what we're saying.
Develop your plans and stay safe out there. I appreciate everyone that stayed to the end. Go subscribe to the Passive Income Network. Go subscribe to Crypto for Change and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you. We're trying to do these Mondays and Thursdays, a little bit different each time. We'll see, but we'll see you in the next one.
All right.
See you, everybody.